application, see, we have some, see, as a developer, we'll be having some roles. For example, like we'll be generally called as developers, Pega developers, or other term they'll use in Pega is system architect or senior system architect. Okay, so actually, so when developing an application, so there are two main roles will be there. So architects and developers. Okay, so also called as business analyst or business architect, or developers are also called as system architect. Okay, so mostly, so these two roles will involve in most of the application development. Okay, so the two roles which are involved in the main application development are business analyst and system architect. See, in that, business analyst will not completely involved in the development, but they are going to see what are the business objectives of the application and what are the complete business requirement specifications and all. So they are going to collect from the participants, like who are business users and all. See, we are developers, okay? So who are the business users? From them, they are going to collect the requirements, like what requirements they are going to give. All the requirements will be collected by the business analyst, and all the technical development, like complete front-end development or technical development, will be done by the system architect. And in system architect, three levels will be there, like a system architect, senior system architect, and lead system architect. So generally, anyone applies for Pega. So for the system architect roles only they'll be applying. Okay. So now this training will involve in this system architect and senior system architect. Okay, because lead system architect directly we can't apply. After you gain some experience, like at least 3 or 4 years real-time experience, if you gain, then you can apply for this lead system architect. And for that, there will not be any separate training. Generally, in the real time, we learn on our own. Okay, so based on the experience we get in the real time, so automatically those concepts will be getting knowledge on those concepts automatically. So separate training will not be there for that. So, but now if you're applying for any jobs in the market, so those roles will be for the system architect and senior system architect. Okay, and here now generally system architect or senior system architect, so they will involve in the development. But in some companies, the senior system architect will also supervise the work done by the system architect. See, these are also going to involve in development, and also they will supervise the works done by the system architects. Suppose like 1 or 2 year experienced people will be called as system architects, like more than 2.5, 3 years experience and all, they'll be called as senior system architect. And mostly the rules wise, whatever they work, it will be common. Some of the rules will be, or most of the rules will be commonly worked by the system architect and senior system architect. That you will understand in the next topics. And other than that, there will be some lead system architect. See, they will only prepare the specification documents, okay, and whether all the guardrails are applied or not, whether these system architect and senior system architects are following the PEGA application guardrails or not, or application architecture they are applying or not. So they are going to verify all those details, okay. So, and all the application rules are reusable when wherever reusability is applicable, so all the rules are reasonable or meeting the guidelines or not. So all those things they are going to take care, and also they will prepare the complete specification documentation what developers must do in the application. So all the documentation will be prepared by the lead system architect. So they will not involve in complete development, but they will monitor and also make sure the complete application architecture, PEGA architecture is followed in the development part. So like that, these are the three different roles, but you'll be either in the companies and all. So based on the experience, like less than 2.5 and all, they'll be called as system architect. More than 2.5 years experience, they'll be called as a senior system architect. Okay, and okay, these are the different roles we'll be applying, user roles. And when working in application, see, version to version, some small changes will be there up to 8.4 version. Okay, what is access group? I'll mention in detail in coming classes, but just a small overview. See, access group means in every application. See, developer means some ID will be given to us, some ID to access or to log into the application. And when you log into the application, which application access is given to you and which module access is given to you. And under that, what portal access is there, what access roles are there, all those will be configured under the access group. As of now, in the present personal edition, you'll be getting complete access to all the portals and all the studios, so no worries. So but in the real time there can be some restrictions, so you may not access all the portals or you may not access all the studios, and within that implementation also some restrictions, restrictions will be there, where you can't access some particular rules in application, like we can't execute some rules, we can't delete some rules, like that. Based on the developer experience or role, they may apply some more permissions, more access permissions, or more access roles they are going to apply. That all come under actually security concepts. We'll understand some security concepts in the advanced topics. Okay, then you'll understand more about this access group thing. So it will be the like what access given to you in the application, that will be completely configured through the access group. Where it will be, I'll show you slowly. So this is about these user roles and all. So these are all technical things. Just if you have a basic idea, that is enough. So today let's begin these. First of all, in my system, server is not started. I'm going to start the server. So this will take around 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes time. See, in Pega platform, there are different types of application types. See, basically, Pega itself is a base application, I told. Pega platform will be the see, whenever we log in, you'll be getting the default name as Pega platform. So if you're going to develop a new project or if you're developing a new application, so for the client, so you need to define some structure again, like a framework and implementation structure we need to define. So what is meaning of framework and implementation? I'll give some overview, and I'm going to define one new application in this setup wizard will be available. See, Pega has two types of application structures. One is called framework and other one is implementation. See, framework means it's a reusable application. Basically, whenever we develop multiple, suppose if you take some Tata organization, it is having multiple applications, right? Like Tata Health Insurance will be there, Tata Life Insurance will be there, like Tata Auto Insurance, like that. See, insurance is one, but it again divided into different divisions or different implementations. So if you are going to develop an application which is somewhat relevant to same organization, or if it is for the same organization, so we can define one main organization structure, and that is called framework, and under that we can add multiple divisions or multiple implementations. See, each application again for the same organization, like Tata Life Insurance come under one implementation, Tata Auto Insurance come under one implementation, and Tata Health Insurance come under one implementation, like that. Under the same organization we can define multiple implementations. So to define that, see, base framework is already given in Pega platform, but to add multiple implementations for one organization, so first we need to define one user defined framework. So framework here advantage is, see, without this framework it will not allow to define multiple implementations. Suppose if this is not defined, only one implementation only it will allow. So if you want to develop multiple implementations for same organization, then compulsory this is mandatory. Another advantage is reusability. So if any common designs are there, common database storage is there, or common UI designs or common logic is there, so we can define it organizational level and reuse in all the other implementations which come under same organization. So here advantage of framework is two things. One is reusability, and other one is, so without the user defined framework we can't add multiple implementations. So if framework is added, then only it will allow more than one implementation for that organization. So like that, when completely working on the platform, so we need to first of all add one user defined framework. Already base framework will be given in the Pega platform, and we need to begin with a user defined framework, and under that we can add one or more implementation applications. And implementation means it is the where in under the implementation only complete design will happen. So when working on the platform, our complete design will happen under the implementation itself. So like that, in the platform, whenever we are working, so you have to define one user defined framework, and under that we can add one or more implementations we can add. So to define these structures and all, so Pega has given some wizard option. So that is called new application wizard. So when you are working on the application creation, every developer will not involve in the real time. So but in the present versions, like in personal edition, if you're installing means we have to do the setup by ourselves. But in the real time, everyone is not involved in this project. But if you have an idea, it is enough. So to begin with this setup, see, before that, Pega sometimes, see, some companies will also purchase some additional framework. See, in place of user-defined framework, so some companies will also purchase some built-in frameworks from the Pega systems. Okay, so there are some built-in frameworks like CPM framework, customer process management. So it is used in the like in the support applications and all, supporting customer support related applications. Like in case of banking, healthcare, or any insurance modules, they'll be using this. Like a PMF is also commonly used in many modules. Like banking related smart investigate, smart dispute. So insurance and healthcare separate frameworks are there. See, these are all not mandatory to use, but instead of user-defined framework, if they want to directly go with some available frameworks, means they need to separately purchase from Pega systems. Okay? But we don't have access to these now in personal edition, so most of the companies they'll develop on their own. So no need to worry about this. And here, whenever we are working on this new application development, so there is a widget. See, in previously before 7 versions, like see up to 6 versions and all, there will be some wizard called application profiler and accelerator that is deprecated. But from 7 version, we are using this wizard called new application wizard. Okay, starting from 7, we are using this same wizard new application. So in this some 3 to 4 steps only will be there. Okay, just we need to provide the details like select the structure, give the name of application, and what is the organization name. If you mention automatically, it's a Pega is a automation tool, right? So if you just provide some 3 to 4 parameters, automatically setup will be generated. So first we need to add the, so according to the above image, see, first we need to define the user-defined framework, and under that you can add one or more implementation applications. So before adding this, see what are the main parameters here is. So whenever we define an application, we need to give the name for the application. Okay, some name we have to mention. See, actually by default, anytime the structure in the structure settings, it will be there as implementation will be there. So we have to change that to framework. Means initially first we have to add framework. Okay, so without adding user defined framework, if you directly add implementation, only one implementation only to allow. Again, if you want to add the second one, it is not possible. Okay, so first we need to select the structure as framework. Then we have to mention organization name also only once we have to mention. Okay, so once we mention, so later wherever organization name is required, it will take the details automatically. Okay, easy only, just see the project. So I'll log into the platform. So it is started, server is started. You can minimize this command prompt. So this will be running in the backend, then only we can open our application. So it's internet server, and if it is running, then only we can access open application and work on the application. So we have to click on this login icon. See, once you click on login, so inside the under the login page, actually, so it's already logged in. So I'll log off and log in back again. So my ID is so the default ID will be administrator@pega.com and password is installed. So open this. See, once we open this ID, so you can see the default application is Pega platform. So in the same application, that is in the built-in framework application, we need to build a new framework, new user-defined framework we need to build. Okay, so to open that widget, you can see there is a button called build application button in work area panel. So you can click on this, or else there is one more way from the header application menu. So new application, if you click also, it will go to the same widget. So either if you want to open this application widget, either from here header you can open, or from the build application button also you can open. So, and in your systems, when you open this, see, generally there are, see, in my system, I'm having some other applications in my server, but in your system, when you're going to select, you have to select this option called build from scratch. Okay. See, this is the only option you'll be getting when you open this. So when you open this widget, either from the button or from the header menu, you'll be getting this widget option. So select build from scratch, and actually in previous version some theme will be different, and in present version it is 8.7 version. So we have to go with the, okay, see here theme Cosmos or Cosmos React. Okay, so it is both are mostly similar except from one or two color schemes, most are similar. You can go with the theme Cosmos, you can go, this is the best architecture, even though they say the latest one is Cosmos React. So go with the theme Cosmos. In my present version I'm using this. So you can see guys, you can select anything, nothing difference, much difference will not be there except color schemes and all. Mostly it will have the same features and same options. Okay. So one or two things will be slightly that we don't use also those things. App Studio is not your role. Okay. UI architecture is not your role. So don't bother in the developer environment and all, whatever any theme if you use, it will not be having much difference. Nothing difference you can find. Okay. I'm going with a theme Cosmos. Then once you select this option, see it asks for the name of the application. So here you can give a name as, I'm giving as Alpha Insurance Application. See, once this name is given, so click on these advanced settings. See, in advanced settings, automatically some random organization name will be there. We need to update that, and by default structure will be implementation. We need to change to framework because first we are adding framework application. See, so many by mistake, if you click on this button, what happens means it will directly create implementation with a default organization name. So make sure when adding the user-defined framework, we need to open this advanced configuration and see here. So we have to change the structure to framework. So by default, you'll get the structure as implementation. So select structure as framework and give organization name as alpha. Another one is, see, organization name in every system, some random name you'll be getting. So give it as alpha. So after these two details, then click on save button. See, once we click on this save button, so again it will go to the same page. So now you can click on this button, create application. See here, whenever we add this setup in the backend, Pega will generate many rules automatically, like some division names, organization names, unit names, and in the backend also it will create some IDs. Okay, one ID we have to generate manually. Like that, some other default IDs also it will be generating, and some rule set names. So many things will be creating in the backend. So click on this button. So within few seconds, the configuration it is going to finish. So once the configuration is done, it is going to give the message the setup is completed, and you have to generate some new ID. See, the default ID is only to access the default application. Now for the new applications, whatever I generated, we need to generate some new user ID, and some random password will be created for that. So we have to make a note of that. Let's see the project. So generally the format of the ID is either email ID we can mention or compulsory @ is required in the user ID format. We have to use a format like this, admin @ alpha I'm using. So admin @ your organization name you can mention. See here, there is no other option, only one option will be there. Click on add, and now for this ID, a password will be generated, some random password, and this password will be different in every system. In your system, it will be different, and in my system, it will be different. See, either send invitation to your email account so that this ID password will be sent to your email, or else see copy paste this ID password in any notepad, because you can't remember this password which is generated in a different order. It is case sensitive, so nobody can remember this easily. So copy paste this ID password in any notepad. So in the first attempt when you log in, it will prompt you to, it is not a permanent password. You have to update the password again. When you log in first attempt and log in for the first time, you need to change the password. So I'm going to copy this. Now click on log off. So I can remember the ID admit alpha, and what are the password I copied, I'm going to paste here. Now it will give options to change the password. It is not a fixed password, right? So we have to change it in the first login. And new password you can give anything. I'm giving as rules. I'm giving rules as the new password. So in completely lowercase. So click on change password. So what are the default password generated? It is updated to the new password as rules. And once you open, you'll be getting the application, whatever the user defined framework I generated. So application home page will open. Actually here there are different studios also will be there, like we will be working in developer studio, but initially it is going to display app studio, and from here we need to switch to the developer studio. So what is app studio, I'll mention later, I'll discuss later. So now go to the developer studio. Now, under the developer studio, you'll be getting this welcome page, welcome application login page, or once we open that, some welcome page will be getting, you can close it. So we completed this user-defined framework setup. So after these details are given and ID is entered, some password is generated, and we changed the password to some new password as rules. And once we open that application, so it will open this default studio called app studio. So from there we have to switch to the developer studio. So this is means with this configuration, user defined framework is completed. Now under the user defined framework, I'm going to show you one implementation application. Okay, so I'll show one, like that you can try any number of implementations in the same way. See, this time you don't get any see, build application wizard you don't get in the work area panel now. So we have to compulsory open from the header panel. See, this time same way following similar steps. Now I'm going to define implementation application. See, implementation when you're creating. So again, open the same wizard. Again, you'll get the similar wizard. So under that wizard, see this time, see, click on new application again. But we need to choose what is our framework name. See, initially when you're creating user defined framework means you have to only select this build from scratch, but now under the user defined framework we need to define implementation. So select your framework name, that is alpha insurance application, then continue with some of the, see, you'll be getting some 3 to 4 screens. So no need to select, no need to enter anything, just proceed with the buttons whatever you get. So build with alpha insurance application. See, generally, if you're having some, see, when you're adding some second or third implementation applications, suppose in the first implementation, if you have any modules and all, and same modules if you want to use in other implementations means, so then you can clone the case types. Actually, here not required, because it is the, whenever we add the first implementation, you don't have any case types or data types. Suppose If you're adding any third or second or third implementations, or after the first implementation, if you add any other implementations, then there is a possibility of cloning case types and cloning data types, like copying the existing modules and copying the existing data tables in the other implementation. So, but when you're adding first implementation, it will not be having any existing case types or data types. So just we need to click on continue. Same case, no data types, because we didn't define any previous implementation, we didn't have. So this is the first implementation. So there are no data types also to link. So in both these screens, click on continue. Now give a name for the implementation. See, generally here, whenever we give the implementation name, so give the complete detailed name, like what type of insurance application. Generally for in framework, I have given just insurance application, alpha insurance. But for the implementation, we particularly mention in detail, like whether it is a life insurance, auto insurance, or health insurance, mention the detailed name. And here in the advanced configuration, see, under the user-defined framework, we are adding this implementation. So automatically it will take the organization details as alpha. So every time no need to mention, after giving the details first time, every time no need to mention the organization name. And here in the structure, see, we are adding implementation application now. So already in the default structure settings, always it will be there as implementation. See, the thing is here now no need to change any settings, because already structure is implementation, and organization name will be taken from the user defined framework. So no need to update any of these parameters. So when adding implementation, that is one benefit. Just give the name and click on this button, create application button. So once setup is completed, you can see the message congratulations, like application is generated. See now for the new implementation application, see if you want to generate a new ID, okay, scope is there. See, already for the user defined framework, I generated some ID, admit the rate alpha, password is rules. See now, if you want to define a separate user ID for the implementations, chance is there, but here not required, not mandatory. So if I'm not adding any new ID for the implementation, like new ID password for the implementation, we can use the previous ID for the other implementations also. Okay, so now if I'm not generating any ID, see here, click on done or go to app. See, done means it will go to the your framework application. Go to app means it will go to the your implementation application. Actually, I want to once first go to the user defined framework. So here the password will be same now. The password will be same for both user defined framework and implementation application. So how you can verify that? So once log off, this is actually user defined framework. And if you want to open this, go to the login page again. So in the left bottom corner, there is a log off option. So log off, and here you can see admin alpha is the ID. Previously we created this ID, right? So during user defined framework, see now if I log in using this ID, now directly it is going to display the implementation application. So if you log in now, it will display the implementation application. See, alpha auto insurance application it is showing. Now again from here go to developer studio. Okay, now overall if you see, totally it is a combination of three applications. Three layers of applications will be connected here. So what are those three if you want to see? Once go to this app explorer. By default, whenever we log in the developer studio, you'll be getting this recent explorer. Recent explorer means in this application, what are all the recent last 30 rules, what are we generated, it will show in the recent explorer. That will be helpful in the next exercises, because whenever we regularly when I add the rules, see last day what are the rules I generated, I can reuse in the, I can again open and I'll be using in the next tasks or next steps. So what are the recent rules and all, we can quickly open from the recent explorer. That is only purpose of that. And here if you go to this app explorer, so this is the main explorer in application, and you can see the total number of applications we can see as 3. And in that, the grouping of applications, if you see initially, so Pega itself is a base application, which is Pega platform. Any application if you're building on top of Pega platform, we are going to build. And under that, on top of that, we'll be having Alpha Insurance application, which is user-defined framework. Here in this place, sometimes companies also can go for some predefined frameworks also, they can select here. Okay, now we are generating this user defined framework. Again, on top of that, generally, this is our implementation application, Alpha Auto Insurance. See, now the company development, I can continue in the implementation level. Okay, actually, see, if you want to develop anything now, your complete application design, development, anything and all. So we are going to do it from the implementation itself. Okay, suppose if I want to go back to my user-defined framework, actually, when we can go to user-defined framework means, see, if you need one more implementation in the same organization, if I need one more implementation for the same organization, then I can go for the user-defined framework. See, for that, no need to log off and log in. See, again, every time when I log off and log in, see, the recent application is implementation application, right? So anytime if I log off and log in, always it will open this implementation only. Okay, it will not open the user-defined framework. So, but how to navigate? See, if I need one more implementation for the under this organization, so then I need to go for I need to open my user-defined framework, right? So for that, so under the application menu, we have this option called switch application. See here we are using same ID for both framework and implementation. That's why in the switch application category it will show both the application names, because the ID password is common for both framework and implementation application. So if I want to switch to the user defined framework application, under the switch application select Alpha Insurance application. But every time when I switch, okay, I'll be getting this app studio, I'll be getting again from here. I need to open this developer studio. So if I need one more implementation, then I need to do this. Okay, so if I need suppose Alpha health insurance application, if I need, then I need to again go to the my framework again. I told you the process, right? Once again open the widget, this time again choose your framework name. What is your framework? So under the same framework we need to add the application. So you have to continue like that same process. Like only thing is, when creating the new application, give the name as like Alpha Health Insurance or Alpha Life Insurance application, so that you can try. But if you add one more new implementation, always when you log in, it will be displaying the recent application whatever we create, it is going to display that. Okay, so that we can't change. Always what is the recent application we generated, it is going to display that in the whenever we log into the platform. And again if I want to switch to my implementation, so again under the application menu, switch application, select this implementation name. But every time we switch, you'll be getting this app studio. Actually we can remove this app studio display by default. So by default means it will display, but we can remove that app studio every time when we log in. I'll show that setting now. So once we open this switch application again, so you can see here, so this is the app studio, your implementation application layer, it is going to display. Okay, so like that up to here, mostly in any organization, in this application setup configuration, every developer no need to do. So it will be done by one particular senior developer, and every other developer can access this application based on the user ID details when they given to the developer. in that user ID, which application access is there, what access what portal permissions are there, what access roles are there. All the options will be given to the developer, and based on the access given to him, he can access the application details, like which application access we have, which portal access we have, and what access roles we have, and all the permissions will be given in that user ID. Also in Pega, that user ID, whatever we are using, right, we can also call with other term called operator ID. In Pega, user ID is also called as operator ID. When operator ID contains so many other things, we'll be working step by step. And once again, up to here, a quick review. So like that in Pega, first of all, these are the two types of structures or two types of applications will be available. That is framework and implementation generally. So first we have this base framework application already in every, see, any time Pega application, if you open, you'll be getting this base application. But to begin with any organization, for any organization, if you develop any application, the best practice is add user defined framework, and under that you can add one or more. See, I created one implementation only, but if you want to try, you can add one more implementation following the same project. Okay. And in order to define these applications, so we use this wizard called new application wizard. So where we need to open the wizard configuration and choose these means just navigate with the options given in the widget. Nothing difficult, anyone can easily understand. So choose the default theme, then give a name for the application. But when adding user defined framework means make sure you need to open the advanced settings and update the structure as framework, and manually enter the organization details, because every time some random name will be there as organization name. So actually here other point is, generally organization names will be having a length of maximum 4 characters by default. So if we have more than 4 characters in the name of organization, okay, that I'll mention again in the after this topic. I'll mention basically organization name maximum length, it will take 4. So more than 4, if you give, what happens means it will truncate to 4 characters. I'll show some examples in the document once again after completing this. So once we give the name and structure, then create this setup, and some ID password you can generate manually, and make a note of that ID password. See, some of you will forget to copy paste the ID password. In that case, you can't again use the same ID password. It will not allow, because if you don't remember the password, we can't again access the same login ID password. Again, generate another application with a different name. So here carefully, once this password ID password is generated, copy paste in any notepad or document and try to log in using the same. So once we log in that using that, so you have to change the password. It's a mandatory step. Without changing the password, we can't log into the platform. And then here, if you see, once you change the password, you'll be able to access your application structure, and we can open this developer studio. And same way, under this user defined framework, we are going to develop the implementation application. Again, following the same widget, give the name for the application. And here no need to change any settings. The reason is already structure is implementation, and organization name only once we need to define at the time of framework. So it will take automatically. Just to complete the setup, and ID password also not required. No need to generate any new ID and password also. Automatically the ID which I'm using for the framework application, I can use for the other implementations which I define for the same organization. If you want to define, there is a scope, but not required in the present versions. Now log off and log in, and you can access your implementation application by default. And I told you how to switch between applications. Suppose if you are going to add one more another implementation for the same organization, there is a scope to switch between the application, one application to other application we can switch. Okay, so that this is the application creation process. And here, whenever we mention these organization names, right, here I have given as alpha for this application. Suppose if you give any name with more than 4 letters, what happens means, so Pega will take only the starting 4 characters only it will take. Okay, so if you give capital, it will only take the starting 4 characters. If you give Birla, it will only take starting 4 characters. Less than 4 if you give, it will take same, but more than 4 characters if you are giving, it will take only the starting 4 characters in the organization details. Similarly, say application names also will be having some naming pattern or length will be there. Naming application names also will have some length, like minimum length is 8 characters for application name. Means see, when giving the names, we can give any name in detail, like Alpha Auto Insurance application. But when it is taking the name in the backend, like a division name, application name, other name is also called as division name. So these division names and all, it will be creating some based on this division name. Some classes will be generated in the application. Actually, I'll discuss that in the next class. So some division classes will be generated. So those classes will be truncated to either 8, 9, or 10 characters. That all depends upon the name given. Okay. Suppose if I give the name as Alpha Auto, see in the first two letters, like if you take alpha as one letter and auto as one letter, in the first two letters, if we have 8, 9, or 10 characters, it will take the same. Suppose in the first two letters we have 8 characters are there, so it will take the same. Suppose in the second example, Geeko vehicle, more than 8 characters are there. So 5 plus 7, no, totally. So we have some 12 characters are there. So in that case, it will take only the starting 8 characters, so it will take in this. See, if you have 9 means, see 9 or 10 characters means it will take same again. Geeko Auto will have 9 characters, then it will take total name. So don't worry, this is Pega algorithm will take care, but just information only. Suppose SBH vehicle, this is having 10 characters. So it will take all the 10 characters in the name here. So like that, if you see HDFC Auto, 8 characters are there, it will take 8 characters. And SBH Auto Insurance. So in this, see first two letters only 7 characters are there. In that case, in the third letter, it is going to take the starting character like that. So these are all some examples in the naming convention. Like minimum, remember, minimum length for application name will be 8 characters and maximum length will be 10 characters. Just make a note. That's it. Just refer to this. Apart from that, manually you are not going to decide the length of the application names or length of the division names. And see here, that's why if you see here in the application division name, it will take only the starting 8 characters only it is taking in the backend. That I'll discuss more points you'll get in the next class. And every time when I log in, I'll be getting the Tab Studio, right? So if you want to avoid the Tab Studio every time, and see, generally developers will be regularly working in the Developer Studio. So without opening the Tab Studio, directly if you want to go to the Developer Studio, so there is one setting. So if you go to this, see here operator menu or admin menu, one menu is there in the left corner. See, this is used to log off. Log off option also will be there here only. See, once go to this access group. So what is access group? More about access group you'll get later, more information later. But as of now, just to do this simple setting. So by default, what happens is in the available portals, your Express portal is also called as App Studio. So it will be selected as PX Express. So that's why whenever we log in, you'll be getting that App Studio will be displayed by default. Suppose if I change this to developer, so from next time if I log in, I'll be getting the developer portal directly. So but we need to, for testing this, log off and log in once. So after the option selected as developer, so save, we need to save it. Then log off and log in once. Now directly I'll be getting this developer portal every time. So you can like that some settings manually also you can change apart from the default settings given by Pega. So according to the comfort of the developer, we'll be doing these changes and all step by step. And apart from that, so up to here, whatever we discuss in the real time, you're not going to do anything. So from the next two topics, okay, next two topics will be some technical topics, but important for a developer like inheritance concepts and class concepts we'll be discussing. So up to here, any questions first? Up to here, any questions? And any
Hello.
issues? Please tell me.
Yeah, I have some questions.
Please tell me.
Actually, in this course, you will only teach us as per the course, or you will help us in the interview preparation as well or not?
See, whatever we are discussing, the same thing will be asked in interest also, right? Certifications also will get the same questions. See, training means, see, if you're
So,
taking a training means it will be helpful for work in the manage the work in the real time. So to clear interviews and also to clear the certifications. See, it's automatically all
yeah,
the concepts which we are discussing, it will be helpful in all the three. So for interview purpose, it will be helpful. For clearing the certifications, it will be helpful, and also in the real time, without any support, you can manage the job on project. If you move, automatically you'll be able to manage the job on your own without any support. Yeah, automatically it will be for all the purpose, right? So generally, if anyone takes training, it will be for any purpose. It will be helpful. Yeah, don't worry about that. Interest also you can handle on your own.
but actually, we don't know how the interview questions are there, no?
See, I'm giving
Because
what we learn on that only, right? They'll not ask any out of Pega, they are not going to ask, right? So you'll be getting the documentations and notes you'll be getting. So prepare that you can we can get the any kind of question you can answer. So I'll be sharing also some additional
and
documentations also for interview preparation purpose. Some additional materials I'll be sharing with you. So with that, if you prepare that, you can clear any kind of questions. Scenario based questions will be there. Technical questions will be there. All you can answer.
okay. And as you have told us that there are two certificates which are most important,
Yeah.
so that will have age on us. So for that, which type of questions are coming? It's like in MCQ or it's like a
Or
theoretical
are
based.
MCQ, any certification questions or MCQ based only.
Okay. And how much time this course will take to complete?
Approximately 55 to 60 days. 2 months you can.
55 to 60.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the structure of this course so that we can be ready for the interviews and for that certification? After the completion of 60 days, or we can be applying that for 45 days, not like that.
See, parallelly, you can't complete the practicals which we are working. So you have to see if you are able to complete. See, nobody can complete the practicals on time, right? So you will be able to manage all the work, what are the documentation given or what are the, see, you'll be getting the video access before only. So if you have time means you can complete within 30 days also. I'll be giving the recording access of videos and documentations to you. If you have time, you can also complete before and parallelly you can prepare for the interviews also. So documentation will be given before. Okay, no problem at all. So parallel you can start the
And
preparation. No need to wait till the course gets completed. Okay. So parallelly, when training is going on, you can prepare for certifications and interviews also. I'll give the documentations before only. Okay.
okay. And will we get the assistance that the vacancies are released in this company or like that from your side or
Pega,
not?
see now any IT jobs, nobody will see vacancies means only through portal. See any IT job, not like in olden days, no company will come to any institute or any other organization, right? So they will only pick the profile from the like Naukri and other portals only they'll be picking the profile. So there is no other source. Only source companies will pick the profile for any person means through the job portal only. So I'll give the projects and other things, so you have to upload in the portal. Okay, so it will pick only through the portal only. No other sources
Okay.
will be there. Okay, not only Pega, any other IT jobs now, there is no references, no companies will not give any separate notification to anyone. Only they will pick the profile from the job portals. Okay, so if they release also that some companies directly will pick from their team, and some companies will be giving some resources, some third party consultancies will be there, so they will pick the profiles and share it to the companies. Only these two things will happen. Okay, either directly from company team will pick the profile, or else so they'll give through some third party consultancies will be there. They'll only select the profile, again they'll not have any authority to other thing, so only they will schedule the interview, and other things companies only will handle everything. Okay, so Only that is
Uh,
only option. Anyone want to get the profile? See, nobody, no problem at all. So Pega, there is lot of calls are there and lot of openings are there. So profile wise, no issues at all. Interviews will be scheduled. So once you are
yeah,
ready
as
with
you
the
have told
preparation,
that it will be, yeah,
see, once you are
yeah,
ready with
as you
the
have told
preparation,
that,
you can easily get the job. No problem at all.
yeah, you have told us that there will be so many vacancies in this upcoming months, like January to
Yes,
February, right?
yes.
So once we will be enrolling for this course, then I think it will be completed by Jan if there are 45 to 60 days are there,
See, openings means
and
I
we
said
will be
openings will
practicing.
begin. See, if from beginning from there till the April month, it will be there, right? So till March, April,
Oh,
openings will continue. No problem at all. See, it will be there every time. You see, throughout the year, it will be there. No problem at all. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 months in between, they'll be giving a gap. See, throughout the whole year, the openings will be there continuously. See, one or other company compulsory will be taking, right? There is not any fixed time, right? So if a project is going to begin, means compulsory they are going to recruit new resources. So there is not any
yeah,
particular timeline, but I'm saying like more openings will begin from December end. So compared to the November and other and all, so from December after mid and all, more openings will be there. Okay, and it will continue.
yeah. And if we will be having any doubt uh, after the watching of the recorded videos also, then could we consult it with you
Yeah, you can
or
mail
not?
me. Or next class you can, or after the training also you can reach out to me. So suppose during preparation
Oh,
any doubts are there, you can send an email to me. I'll reply. Otherwise, you can ask in the next session if it is in the during the training means you can ask in the next class or you can send a mail at the same time. Okay, I'll respond to that. Otherwise, after the training also I'll be assisting you. Okay, no problem at all. So technically, anytime, even after the training is completed, also I'll be assisting you. Okay.
okay. Thank you. That's it for me.
And okay, Samant, regarding certification, I'll help you here. Okay, to clear the CSA certification or CWSA certification, I will take care.
Okay, Hari. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so that's about okay. Any issues regarding installation? Any problem, anyone when installing? If not install means do it before the weekend. So if you already done means no issues. So if you did not install means you can do it in the weekend. Before weekend you can complete that. Okay, so that's for today. So